Hey guys, Monk52 here, of course, and today we're covering a Amalfi game I had. It's pretty interesting. Playing a division with some friends and, messing about. It's just, I want to discuss Amalfi and really discuss power creep, I think. It's really important because I think Amalfi is one of those boats that is kind of being left behind. I mean, we still don't have the permanent camo for Amalfi, even though it's in the port. Just give us the option to get it for paint, please. It's such a cool looking camo. You look like a shark. And yeah, that's all that really needs to be said. I gave up and I used the wonderfully blue Warhammer camo. The blue variant, not the red one, not the Chaos one, the Imperial one. It looks beautiful, and even if the shark one does come out, I'm not sure even if it is at this point. I've just committed to making that my permanent camo for the Amalfi because it looks so good. But yeah, Amalfi torpedoes. We've discussed this way back before in Amalfi Masterclass, way back. But if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It could do a re-updating maybe. I need to re-update some of them because obviously, as I get, I mean, I tried to say get better and better YouTube. I'm working on it. But yeah, as I progress more and more, I'll get better and better quality videos out, and maybe I can look back at some of the boats I've already covered. But I've still to cover all the boats in the game, so there's quite a few for me to still go through, so we'll get there. But yeah, my division mates are going to the middle. I'm not going to discuss that. I'm just going to stay away from that very carefully. I'm just going to discuss the Amalfi. I'm just going to stay very away from that. So, Amalfi's got really good AP, by the way. For those who don't know, actually has better penetration at higher, longer ranges than Baltimore does. So you really want to use your AP as much as you can with Amalfi. Even though the HE is relatively decent, the HE is obviously, in most cases for cruisers, superior to AP, which I don't like. I even dare say if the Amalfi got SAP, the probably optimal play is having HE over the SAP. But I would honestly prefer SAP. It's just a more enjoyable playstyle. Same with AP as well. If you get the opportunity to use AP and you get the right opportunity, a broadside cruiser or even a broadside battleship, you will do more than HE, but HE is just so consistent and so reliable. It's rarely, you rarely want to switch ammo types in most cruisers unless they're like Baltimore or maybe Hipper, but even so, the Hipper HE is one of the most consistent HEs in the game, and it's a weird one. As a result of this, I probably should have stuck to HE for most of this, but I had the AP opening the veins with some broadsides and get some juicy citadels. We still done AK, but we fired off. Obviously, we fired HE. We're getting a lot of focus fire, so we deployed our smoke earlier on. We could stop shooting disengage, but I'm pretty comfortable. Amalfi still has really good tools to deal against a lot of focus fire. It has one really good selling point. It has a 30mm armor belt across the side of the ship, which means you can bounce 16-inch shells. Obviously not Georgia, but you can and Champagne Republic. Sorry, you can bounce Champagne. You can bounce 16-inch shells from your broadside if you're carefully angling. Obviously, if you mess up, you're dead. But you can comfortably do it, and I say you can comfortably. You can do it if you know the angling of your ship. If you know how to angle, Amalfi is really good for tanking shells, and you'll do really good at bouncing a lot of stuff that you don't think was possible. And yeah, it's a really beastly boat, really. And the HE is strong. They're basically somewhat comparable to Mogami HE. Obviously, the less fire chance. We actually landed torp, by the way. By the way, zoning torps. People discount the Italian torps. You fire them, particularly in smoke screens. They're quite stealthy. They may be slow, yeah, but if you fire them in high traffic areas, you'd be surprised how many hits you get, particularly in caps as well. Zoning torps is so good, it doesn't matter what torpedoes you have. That's another thing as well, black torpedoes are actually really making a comeback. They're really strong right now. Baltimore pops his radar, we're going to shoot AP and break his guns hopefully. We actually do that, which is great. Turpets gets involved in the mix, and we're kind of feeling a little bit nuts today, and we're just going for it, A little bit unfortunate from that Turpet shot, but we actually bounce a fair amount of those shots, which is nice. Baltimore does go down to, goes down to Suzuya, but I thought we did a fair chunk of damage there. We've got the AP loaded for the broadside Turpets at 3k, 50.8 km away, and we'll do some pretty spicy damage. That was 10k. I can't highlight this enough. The AP on Amalfi is really good. People need to really start using it a lot more. We actually get the torps on Hipper. Obviously, we don't have sonar, but the thing about the Amalfi is you're really quite maneuverable, and you can dodge torpedoes if they're coming. There's a Fiji at 4 kilometers, and there was a Turpets at like 4. I was expecting torpedoes. He didn't drop any. Maybe they got destroyed. I don't know. But you're definitely expecting some torpedoes. Now, Fiji we can overmatch the bow off, so we're going to try and do that right now. There we go. That's everything right there. We do actually get 4 bounces, which wasn't nice. But we've got a well, I wouldn't say we've got a fast reload, but we've got a pretty chunky reload, but we've got pretty hard-hitting guns at the same time. We really need to aim low here because I don't want to overpaint this man. And there we go. We smacked the bejeebus out of him. And it probably was worth it here to get the rear guns. We knew the torpedoes are coming, we slow down, and we actually get the finisher of the dev strike there, which is kind of funny because it counts as a full salvo. It's one of these things where you can kind of make a long dev strike that doesn't actually count for, like, it's not actually it's a dev strike, but it's a pretty long dev strike. So, yeah. Fire some AP at the mains there, and, well, good shots, but nothing really amazing to write home about. And then this is the really time of the moment in the game where you can just think back. I brought a Turpits, a Fiji, a Mains, and a Benham, and with a good amount of, with a wee bit of support, I mean, there was some support. With some support, we actually just took it and just tanked it like a champ. And I'd like to think that is due to my angling and so forth. And in some retrospect, it was. Obviously, RNG, if it's not on your side, it doesn't really matter because they can overmatch my nose, they can overmatch my butt. They can do some pretty nasty damage. I've almost exposed Citadel as well. So yeah, we're just gonna share a teammate there because that's always a good display of victory. The match is pretty much over here. I mean, we've done a fairly decent job. We've taken out 3 ships. We dev struck the Fiji. We took out the Turpits and we torpedoed the destroyer, I believe, as well. Pretty respectable damage, not the highest ever, but pretty respectable damage nonetheless. And like the question remains here: is Amalfi kind of being power crept? And you know, in the hands of a good player, it's a really good boat, but I still feel that it could use some more love. I think the addition of SAP for the Italian cruiser tech tree line is urgently needed. I think they needed more spice back in their life. They need a bit more invigoration. They're very good boats nonetheless, but I do think they could use a bit more love. Like, give Amalfi its permanent camo, you know, give us access to SAP to test, just like the premiums, you know. It shouldn't be locked behind a paywall, or at least give us SAP, give us Venezia. You know, I really would like more love for the Italian cruisers. Honestly, in the future updates, I really hope they get some more love because they're really good boats and they deserve to be shining a lot more. Because not many boats can do that. Maybe Edinburgh could, but the same thing about Edinburgh. Edinburgh's, yes, it's famous for its 30mm nose and stern, but Amalfi's got it on the side. So, arguably, Amalfi's a little bit more. Well, it's not as consistent in bouncing the shells, but you can bounce a lot more in a lot more angles. You don't have to bounce stern and bow tanking. Bow tanking, stern tanking is nice for some people. Certain boats do well on it, like Vladivostok, for example, but it doesn't really do well for your boat in the long run. I think Zarkun has mentioned this in particular. Stern tanking and bow tanking, well, bow tanking mostly. Bow tanking in your battleship doesn't really do much for your team. It really doesn't. You put yourself in bad position a lot of the time. It's not very good. It's a bit of a struggle. I mean, there's boats designed for it, like Jean Bar and Richelieu, but your positioning needs to be on point, and you need to remember that because bow tanking is not as effective as a lot of people think it is. You know, you have a lot more armor than your bow armor, and Amalfi is a prime example of this. It has a horrifically bad bow armor, but the side plating is so good. That 30mm side plating, you can bounce shells that people don't. You can stay alive a lot longer than people think you can. You know, shots that would dead strike other cruisers, Amalfi can just bounce and shrug off, not a problem. But yeah, this gets kind of turned into a rant here, not gonna lie, but it's I don't know. I think it needs to be said sometimes. Sometimes you need a good rant about these things. I think a lot of boats need some love. I think we need to step back, you know, from all the new stuff and just give a lot of quality of life stuff for the game. But again, at the end of the day, there are companies that got to make their monies. But at the same time, if you don't improve the game and you don't polish your game, your base mechanics, people are not going to return, and that's the biggest problem with it. So, in the long run, I believe polishing your game will make you more money. You know, in the short run, yeah, no, sure it won't, but it depends. Are you here? Is the game here for the long run, or is it here for the short run? Because if they don't do that properly, then he's going to see what's going to happen. Now you see, we're a bit unfortunate there. We didn't get the best angle. We didn't get the best angle there, and he overpinned our. He got some penetrations, I think, or at least some overpins through our bow there. Wasn't the best, but again, we're slapping this Champagne with AP. Now Champagne's got a pretty quick reload, and I need to respect that. I see I'm just trying to angle as best I can here, but I'm trying getting a little bit greedy, and I fire the rear gun here, but he does a reload and he actually kills me, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because the battle ends and we already finished what we have done. So yeah, 131k, 4 kills, not the Kraken, 4 Citadels, 1 Death Strike, high caliber, and 3000 base XP, guys. Interesting game. I did veer off from it, not gonna lie. I suppose it's because there's a lot of core issues in the game sometimes, and I feel this was a good point to discuss it, because this is a boat that is, even though we played really well, I still think this boat is a victim of power creep. You know, I feel it I didn't feel as powerful as I did when the boat was first released, and I really feel they could give Amalfi some love. I'm not really asking for damage buffs or buffs to the boat, I just feel they could do some more, like giving it sap or something, you know. But anyway, guys, you know, I don't want to keep you guys here too long. It's just a short and fun video covering a wee fun game I thought would be interesting to showcase. Please let me know your thoughts below, you know. Anyway, as I said, won't keep you long. So yeah, guys, have a lovely day. Like, share, and subscribe, all that malarkey, and yeah, I'll catch you all next time. Bye for now.